What a week we had in Lexington. Oh my goodness. Now this is the opening to our, week from our weekly videos. I didn't give you guys weekly videos last week just because there wasn't much to talk about. This week wasn't better. And it's not that we had a horrible week. We had a little bit of bad luck. Arctic Forest drew outside. A couple of horses made breaks. We can work on that stuff. But a lot of our horses didn't get in. Even for Tuesday, Spirit of Dio and Globetrotting still not in. I told Jason to make sure you enter them in Dayton. I'm going to be down around that way. Make sure you enter them in Dayton. We'll go race one or both of them in Dayton on Thursday of next week, which is close to leading up to the big races, to the consolations that we have 3 horses in. GW Chrome, Compass Rose, DC. 4 horses in. GW Chrome, Compass Rose, DC. Mama knows best, and I'm a lovely lady. Now it's the end of the year. Are any of them tired? I know somebody said, well, GW Chrome shouldn't be tired. GW Chrome was crippled for 3 weeks in the middle of the summer. It's not like he had a holiday. He wasn't on a beach drinking Mai Tais somewhere. He was lame. So it's been a long year for him. He qualified. Jason said his qualifier looked flat on the line, but it didn't feel that way. He felt better. He thought both those horses qualified rather well. Didn't really want much more than that from them. I would like to see 29 flat on the end of it rather than 31. But I don't think it was a great day in Northfield either, especially when you're qualifying against an age pacer with a young horse. It never usually ends well. So I was happy overall. They got some work into them, and we'll race them next week. As far as everybody else goes, moderate results. White Tiger was a second. Probably should have been a winner, but finished second. Arctic Forest, as I said, did what he could. He got away at the back. I'm only looking at the horses I remember watching. Cabell Hanover bounced back well in New York. Braemar raced his last race of the year, 5th in 51. Simon had called me after and said, he's a real difficult horse to drive. He's got a real, he can be real ornery sometimes. And he said, I'm not so sure I didn't shut his air off a little bit. It's his words, not mine. So we grabbed a bone, got nosed out for 4th in 51. But it was a good year for Braemar, and his last 3 races of the year, he paced 53, 53, 53. Can't really complain. I guess his last 4 races, 53, 54, 53, 53. Can't really complain with that. Braemar's had a tremendous year, and by all estimations, I guess, he should have a fantastic 3-year-old year. This is a big, strong colt, well-bred. I like everything I've seen from him, and I'm interested and eager to see him race as a 3-year-old. Now, as I was leading into, although we raced a lot of horses last week, mostly everything revolved around Lexington, right? These are pivotal sales when it comes to the stable.ca in the next calendar year. What did we get? What didn't we get? Do we need anything? I had told you guys when we started into the sale season that we were looking for 18 or 20 Ohio breds. We're only at 13 now. We do have a sale and a couple of horses we like on Tuesday, but if we were conservative in Lexington, we are going to be extremely frugal in Ohio at the Buckeye. So if you're out there and you're saying, geez, Anthony, I'd like to get an Ohio bred, but I haven't got in yet, we do have a number of horses we're looking at at the sale. Now, I won't be there. Jason will be there. He'll be taking some videos for me and looking at some horses. Every year I can't get to the Buckeye. This year it's because I'm going to be at the Meadows. So Jason's going to go down there and have a look at some horses for us and himself. And if we pick up a couple, fine. There's still Harrisburg, and there's still lots and lots of sales left, so to speak. So we're at 13 right now for Ohio. I would like to pick up 3, 4, 5 more, but they would have to be decent horses at an affordable, I guess, discounted price. Not discounted because there's something wrong with the horse, but discounted because we're looking for bargains. I think we got a lot of what we wanted. Back to what I'd said, I told you guys we wanted 18 or 20 Ohio breds. We're at 13 right now. I wanted to have 12 to 15, maybe around 12-ish Ontario breds. I think we're at 7 right now. Be nice to have 4 or 5 PA breds. We have 6 Should be done with the PA breds. Indiana, I didn't know what we'd have. 1, 2, 3. We already got 3. 2 Swan for Alls and a Muscle Massive. 1, that's an upgrade, and 2, the horses that we got look very, very good. I'm very happy with them. We'll talk about them in a minute. And then New York, we have 1 credit winner filly, or the Chapter 7 filly. So might look for 1 of those in Harrisburg, maybe. And then New Jersey, I didn't know. We already have 3 of them. So we're getting there. Everything's falling into place perfectly. I think the sale we had in general was tremendous. And I want to go over some of them with you. So a couple of stories behind some of the horses. I guess we'll start with the story horses. So every year, you know, it's not that I needed any flyers this year. I didn't need any horse, so I said, geez, that's a good looking horse. Or I heard a backstory on the horse and investigated it a little more. So those are 2 things that did happen yesterday, and we're going to talk about the first one. The first one was Confederate Cruiser. This was a Yankee Cruiser. I've never had a Yankee Cruiser, I don't think. Can't remember one if we did. And now this is out of a decent family. Second foal out of, third foal out of a Sun Beach Somewhere mare. Third foal out of a Sun Beach Somewhere mare. The second dam was a Grin from Year to Year, who made $220,000, had a mark of 53, but raced at 2. The third dam's BPG Moan, a lot of nice horses there. Important is in the first dam. So I looked at the updates. The update said first dam, big update, King's Cruiser, 2-year-old mark of 155, 3 wins, 13,000 made. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. I pull up the horse. Jeff Nysanger trains and drives the horse. I just saw Jeff Nysanger around the corner. I peeked my head around the corner. He's still there. I walk up. I said, hey, Jeff, how you doing? He said, good, Anthony, how you doing? I said, hey, what's the scoop on King's Cruiser that you have? He said, King's Cruiser. He's a nice colt, really nice colt. I said, yeah? He said, yeah. He said, I'll tell you what. He said, that colt, when he was training down, cracked his knee. He had 3 lines in his knee. We stopped with him, gave him time, brought him back. He did good at the fairs. I went to enter him in Dayton, and he didn't get. I missed the draw time in Dayton, and he didn't get in. I raced him in Delaware. He won and beat some really, really nice horses. And he said, I think he went in 55. I said, yeah. He said, he's a really nice little horse. I said, how little? He's pretty little. He said, okay, good. He said, you saw his brothers here, right? I said, yeah. I said, his brother's not big either. He goes, yeah, he's every bit the same size. So here's a horse that is a full brother. Now, you can't see on the catalog, there is no updates. You have to look at the update tab on the iPad, or you have to listen, or to physically go and read the updates. So they announce it when he's coming in the ring, their update, but people don't usually listen to that stuff, right? They're looking at what's in the ring, they're looking at what's coming up. They miss a lot of this stuff, unless it says OCD, or they say the word veterinarian, that people perk up. If you're talking about updates, a lot of people don't listen. And Confederate Cruiser goes in the ring with the update of his brother, now with a 2-year-old mark of 155, earnings of over $13,000. And I have the backstory from Jeff Nysanger right there. He stuck. Somebody bids. I bid once, 8,000. I said, I don't know much about Yankee Cruiser. I said, but, you know, I'm watching these down by the seasides, and I know what's about to happen. This is 7:02. I can see what's about to happen. And everybody's there, you know, like Mr. Burns, rubbing their hands together, thinking they're going to steal some horses. And I'm like, dude, this Ohio is strong. Not just the jurisdiction, but the entire aura around the jurisdiction. Lots of people want to be involved in Ohio now. And these down by the seaside, Sphere of the Dragons, a lot of these horses, they're going to go insanely high. So here's a little horse at the start of the sale. 8,000 I get him for. He's got a 2-year-old full brother that went in 55, trained down great, won 3 races. You know, is by all accounts, from the guy who trains him and drives him right now, a very nice horse. So $8,000, thank you very much. So that was Confederate Cruiser. Now, somebody else said to me, they said, Anthony, what in the name of God, actually it was my wife first, He said, why would you want a rock and roll dance? Has to race against all those good horses in Pennsylvania. I said, you know what? All those good horses in Pennsylvania look like good horses. They all look good. I'm looking at 2 trotters coming in the back ring. I think one was an Uncle Peter we were looking at. The other one was I think I was waiting for maybe the Wishing Stone. I'm not sure. I was waiting for a horse to come in the back ring. I walk out to the ring, and there is this monster of an animal there. He is massive. So I categorized it as easy as I could. Just think of the best horse you've ever seen up close in your life. That's him. This horse was an Adonis of an animal. Probably looked a lot like I did when I was in high school. He was an absolute statue. So I'm like, wow. I looked through the catalog. He's a rock and roll dance. I'm like, so I was sitting there. Scott Zeron was there. I know Scotty, and we were having a beer, just watching the horses. And he goes, Jesus, that's a nice horse. I said, I know, eh? He said, rock and roll dance. I said, I only had one. I didn't mind him. He wasn't a killer. I didn't mind him. I said, but I don't know. And he goes, Scotty goes, honestly, I liked them. He said, I've driven quite a few of them, and I liked them quite a bit. He said, I'm sure there's lots of bad ones. He said, but the ones that I've driven, I really like them. I said, really? He said, yeah. So anyway, I'm looking at the horse. He's walking around. He looks like $1 million, and I mean $1 million. And I'm watching him. I don't even see the other horse come in. I'm watching this horse now. I don't even see our other horse come in the ring. Now, granted, just to set the table, I didn't need to see any of the horses on our list. I had notes on all of them. I was just jogging my memory, taking a look. Is this the horse we want? I didn't even see our horse come in. He's walking around. I'm watching the big monster. I'm like, oh my God, that's a good looking horse. So I'm on the phone with my wife. She goes, why do you want a horse like that? I said, I'm going to tell you something, honey. I don't need to talk about this horse. I don't need to try and convince anybody, hey, he's a really nice horse. World 4-2, don't worry about it. I'll just put the harness on him the first time and show you him under the drone. Then you can make your own decision. I don't need to sell World 4-2. You know, I'll give you a little 12th foal X against him for the 12th foal. Now, Blake McIntosh had his brother, Winback Warrior. You know, he made 150. He was a Royal Majesty. Amazing Control. Wow, what a family. Amazing Control's in there. She threw a horse we bid on this week. And then down here, remember I had bid on the red, the chestnut shadow play. I know, I swear I did. We bid on him and didn't get him. The mother of this horse is out of the same family as this horse. So holding court in the second dam. All these win-back lines are all very, very close. But this was if this horse was a Captain Treacherous, some beach somewhere, something like that, he would have been well into the 6 figures. This, I can't, anyway, it doesn't matter. You'll see what I'm talking about. Go look at number 787. I'll be completely frank with you. I haven't even seen his yearling video yet. Haven't even seen it. Didn't even look at it. I looked at the horse. I looked at the pedigree. I looked at the horse. And I said, geez, you know, I really don't need a rock and roll dance. But everybody needs a horse like that. He's stuck at 15. I'm looking at Scotty. He's looking at me. 15. And now, you know, we bought a lot of horses there. The bid spotter, he's looking right at me. He knows I'm thinking about bidding. So he's like, I can see what they do. I see him say something into the microphone, and he said, hold. He knows I'm about to bid. 15. He looks right at me. Anthony, you gonna buy this horse? 15. It's like forever. 15. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. One time. 16. 16,000 sold. I can't tell you. Anyway, go look at the horse's pedigree. We'll do some videos of the horse. I don't need to sell World for 2 to you. If you're out there looking for a horse, I got a horse for you. Number 787, World for You. Enough said about World for You. let's circle way back to the start of the night. Start of the night, I had a client call me and they said, Anthony, you talked about, you had talked in an earlier video and talked to a couple of people about Lovely Beauty. Now, I'll be completely honest. I try to be anyway, but when I made the list for the last night of Lexington, there were 3 horses that were written like this, right? Said, yes, buy this horse. I had this horse pegged at $28,000. There were three trotting fillies in last night. We bought 3 trotting fillies and 3 trotting colts. We bought 2 of the fillies, didn't get any of the other horses. So I'm not looking for a swan for all, right? I didn't know if we were going to buy any Indiana breds. I did want the Muscle Massive. I'll be honest, I did want the Muscle Massive really bad, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But I wasn't looking, for an Indiana bred, especially one that I have the brother to, Perfect Record. Now, Perfect Record, yeah, I know he hasn't done a whole lot. He made a break, whatever. You guys can make an argument for him being a bad horse. He's not a bad horse. Perfect Record is a horse that I believe will do some good at some point. He's got all the tools. He wants to do his work, and he's big. I think we're a start, maybe not even from turning him out and giving him time. That's a horse I really like. And I certainly don't have any problems at all buying Perfect Record's sister for $13,000 that looks as good as she did. Man, oh man, this filly looked so good in the ring. I just thought it was, it was too easy to buy her. I mean, how's a swan for all? You go buy a swan for all in the past. They're like the Bettor's Delights of everywhere he's ever been. I don't know if they've erected statues yet of swan for all in Indiana, but I'm certain it's in the works. So to buy a very good looking, very correct, and I looked at her video, as she was going in the ring. I looked at this video. Good looking filly, great video, good pedigree. How do you not buy her? I mean, there's a horse with $500,000 in the second dam and a horse with $500,000 in the third dam. The one in the second dam, it's got 51 wins. Anyway, it's $13,000 for Loving Beauty. Pretty hard not to do that. I mean, I don't know. Make an argument how I was wrong. I don't know how you even start that. I sat down last night before I went to bed at 4:18 in the morning, and I looked at every horse, case by case. If I was pessimistic, what would I say? How do I not buy this horse? For all the horses, I could make an argument. I could say, well, you had this one pegged to 22, it went for 21. Okay, not a real big bargain. Tipsy and Dixie, it's the sister. Yeah, but she was well worth that. If anybody knows me, you know that I'm pegging these horses hard. There's no, I'll just buy 40. When I tell you 22, it's a pretty specific number. When I tell you 22 and she goes for 21, it wasn't that we didn't find much value. It's that I underbid. I got an undersold horse. Go look at the average of bar hopping. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll go back to her. So when you look at Loving Beauty, it was just very, very easy to do. Now the next horse was 702. I knew there wasn't a lot of pacers. We were looking at one filly I wanted so bad. Would have been my top 5 in the whole sale. We didn't even come close. I don't even think I got my hand up. I thought maybe 40, 45. She went for 65. I might have even been able to make an argument for 65, but I wasn't. And I let her go. And I knew there was a good chance we weren't going to get any Ohio Pacers. But I really like this colt. 702. And then when you tie in that backstory from Jeff Nice on it, 702 is pretty easy to do. Confederate Cruiser. Now the next horse was the first horse I absolutely wanted. I wanted this horse. 696 was easy at 13. 702 was a sneaky little backstory horse. Very inexpensive horse with a lot of upside. 704 I wanted. I'll tell you why. I told one of our clients last night as I was driving home, and I love that we have clients on the West Coast, we have clients in Illinois, because as I'm driving home at 3 o'clock in the morning, I got somebody to talk to. I literally, if they had been able to stay up, I could have driven all the way to Ontario. So, we're talking about Massive Profit. Now, Massive Profit, take this for what it's worth. Do not read into anything more than I'm going to tell you. Don't make comparisons to the animals just because I did. This is just the way my mind was working. Now, Lawmaker 4 years ago, 3 years ago, well, we bought him 4 years ago, was a statue. Just the most beautiful horse you'd ever want to see. He looked exactly, you snapped a lead shank on a horse and said, this one's mine. It was him. He just looked great. Now, we've tried to buy Muscle Massive since then. White Tiger was a nice horse, but he didn't look like Lawmaker. He just looked really athletic and was in the right place at the right time. Both of us were. He was and I was. And we ended up getting him. But he didn't look like White Tiger, or he didn't look like Lawmaker. And I haven't seen a horse look like Lawmaker since Lawmaker. Not a Muscle Massive. I was looking at the horses the other day, and I went through Hunterton. And I came there to see a Muscle Massive. I didn't even have to look. I walked into the consignment. There's horses out everywhere. Look at that one. I'm looking at the hip number, and sure enough, Massive Profit. This is a absolute doppelganger, the twin of Lawmaker. Now, don't believe that I'm trying to sell you on the fact that because two horses look the same, they're of equal ability. I'm not. I'm just physically telling you they look the same. I loved everything about this horse. He was a beautiful horse. So, I waited. I'm thinking Indiana's probably going to be tough to buy from. It's a strong program, a good program. But, geez, that Swan for All didn't go for very much that I just bought 20 minutes before. Who knows? 10. You're stuck at 10, 10, 10. And what'll happen a lot of times at the sale, you know horses that'll even bring six figures. They'll go 15, who will give me 10, who will give me 7, who will give me 7, somebody will bid 7, 10, 15, and then gone. 6 figures. Now, this guy was not a 6-figure horse, not on his pedigree. Very strong family, but one of those horses where I don't know any of them. I see all the money they made, I see all the wins, I see all the speed, but I don't know any of them. That doesn't mean that they're not good horses. That doesn't mean they're not decent horses. I don't know where they've raced. I don't know who trained them. I don't know what jurisdiction they were in. I just know they made money. Traveling Man went to Europe. I see him all the time. I see him on the pedigrees down in the third dam. That's the only horse in this whole pedigree I know. But if you look at the pedigrees, 377, 30 wins, mark of 52, 52, 53, 54 as a 2-year-old. I don't know the horses, but they're all going fast. So, Massive Profit was a slam dunk for me at $14,000. I bid a couple of times. I got him. I couldn't have been happier. And we had people that wanted him before the sale. So I know the horse is going to be, there's going to be shares bought right away. So for me, logistically, it's easy. For me as a horseman, it's simple as I look at him. Couldn't be happier to get Massive Profit. Very, very happy with that purchase also. Now, the next one's a little trickier. I forgot to mention Hill of Magic. I circled really, really nice. So, I used 3 different colors on my iPad. Blue was before I went to sale. Orange was one of the first couple of days I got there. And red was right on the day before. Just to jog my memory when I saw this horse. I guess I could put down the date rather than use it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Hill of Magic, I really liked. I saw this filly the day before. Again, pretty strong family all around. Second foal, I believe, out of Cadaver Mare. Yeah, second foal out of Cadaver Mare. This is What the Hill filly. I saw 10 What the Hills if I saw one, maybe more. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and say, this was the best one. It wasn't. Not in my mind. But I really like this filly. I said right here, really nice filly, yes. 26,000 is what I had her pegged at. 26. So as the sale drug on later on, it became obvious that I lucked out. I needed a trotting filly. I wanted a trotting filly. Didn't get any of the trotting fillies for Ohio I wanted, so to speak. But I got this one. And when we looked later on at the filly we really wanted, so I'll give it to you. Number 819 was one I wanted. A ton of people in our group wanted 819. To be quite frank also, I don't even know if I got my hand up at 819. I figured 32, Could go to 38, but geez, that'd be tight. Definitely not going to go to 65. That's what she brought. So there was no 8/19s. Now, you might say to yourself, well, Anthony, how could you possibly know when you bought 759 that you wouldn't be able to buy 8/19? I didn't. I guess you could call it a contingency plan, or you can just say, hey, I had a horse pegged at $26,000 that I bought for 16. How's that sound? Remember, I don't know where the value is going to come from all the time, and that's why I take my time. Found my glasses, by the way. Told you guys that. Found these bumblebees. I found them. So, I don't know where the value is going to come from. But you have to be ready when it's there. Regardless if 759 is in front of me and I said 26 and she's at 15, bid the 16. Unless you have a lot of horses, unless I can make an argument right there why I shouldn't buy that horse, you should be in. So, that's exactly what happened. 759 went into the ring. I had her pegged at 26. She was at 15, and I bought her. I just told you why. As it turned out, all the other horses I wanted went too high. They went above where I had pegged them. So, in that regard, I think I did my job very well. I found us all a very nice filly that was underpriced that I really liked, although we didn't get my top picks for the Ohio Trot fillies. But if people are going to overpay for them, fine. I'm not. I can't. I won't. I'm not. So that's what I stuck to when it came to, Hill of Magic. I'm at the border now here in a minute. I gotta get gas though, or I'm gonna run out trying to get to Canada. So Hill of Magic. Take a look at this filly. I shouldn't have to sell you very much on her. Look at her video. Look at her, and listen to what I just said to you. It isn't that this was a must-have filly. She was a filly that was underpriced. I priced her at 26. I thought she was well worth that. None of the other fillies that I went to had the same value in them this filly did. And that's the easiest way to put it. The value for the others was not present. This one had lots. So I'm glad I got 759 Hill of Magic coming home with us. Next we had 787. I told you the story behind that colt. Don't take my word for it. Just wait till I break them. This is the one. I'm going to try and sell out everything. Take your time. No rush. Wait until you see me put the harness on 787. This thing is a creature. Next, I don't even know how to tell you, but so another great story I didn't tell you. I'm going to tell a little story here. I tell the odd story, so I'm going to give you a great story. Last year we raced a filly. First two Sire Stakes of the year, she crushed them. Looked like the best horse in Ohio. Tailed off a bit when the allergies hit. Come back okay. Very mediocre 3-year-old season, but I think she's going to finish it off with a bang. You guys may know who I'm talking about. Her name is Spend That Money. A filly that I rather like. Spend That Money. So, you guys may not have known this, but during the year last year, the breeder of Spend That Money put the broodmare with the weanling Swan for All colt up for sale. As you can imagine, we were very interested in this horse. I was the underbidder on gate of the mare and weanling. I forget when it was. I don't think she was in foal. No, she couldn't have been. Must have been the weanling. Yeah, it was. I was the underbidder on the mare and weanling for $26,000 on gate. I think we bid 20, 25, 24,000, whatever. Must have been 25. I contacted Crawford and asked him if they would sell the weanling Swan for All. Nope, they don't want to sell him. I don't blame them. I mean, they want to sell it. That's fine. Filly race good all year. She did okay this year. I look in the catalog. The Swan for All colt's in the catalog. I look at his video. This thing's as big as a bus. Spend That Money's kind of a smaller type mare. She's a small Uncle Peter. This is a ginormous Swan for All. Very nice horse. So I'm thinking, before the sale, if you look at my video, go look at my pre-sale video. I shot the video and sent it to you before the sale even started. My quote to you was, I'll watch Spent go through the ring, but we can't afford him. That was my quote. I had this horse pegged at 40 grand. 40. That's after I looked at him. This isn't me looking at the video saying, ooh, I really like Spend That Money. Spend That Money's an okay horse. She's a usable, useful animal. She's a nice filly. She's a filly that I like. But she's not a Breeders' Crown material filly. She's not a killer. She's a nice filly. I pegged her brother at 40. Bought him for 11. Now I'll tell you how much of a deal that was. Irv Miller walked right up to me the second the hammer went down. They haven't even come over with the ticket for the horse yet. And Irv said, when you're done, when you train that horse down, I want to train that horse in Indiana for you next year. I said, Irv, I'll do you one better. You buy half of him right now and you can ensure you will train him. Really? Yep. He comes over 2 minutes later with his owner. Irv Miller and his client own half of this horse. That's why he sold out so quick. Spent. He's gone. So I bought a giant, good-looking Swan for All brother to Spend That Money, who I like very much. $11,000. A disgrace. No, not the biggest disgrace of the night, though. For the breeders, I felt terrible for... So, in keeping in tune with this, and I got 2 minutes left before my phone cuts off. So, 8:55. I told Scott and I told Randy Hill, who was with me last night, we're having a beer, I said, if I buy 8:19, I'm getting on the road now. I'm not waiting for 8:55 and 8:60 and these other horses. I'm leaving right now. I didn't get 8:19. Then I bought Spent. I'm waiting. I said, oh, I'll watch them go through. 8:55 and 8:60 I thought would bring 60, 70,000 each. And I told you before the sale which one I liked more. I had Dancer Hall, the brother to 8:60, and I liked 8:60, but I loved 8:55. This was a what the hill colt. First foal to Jernbro mare, but first foal out of a sister to Super Shizzle. The entire family's fast. The entire family. I didn't care about the family. I didn't care about the video. I looked at the horse. I pulled him out. I looked at him. I looked at 8:60. I looked at 8:55, and I said, that's the better one. I bought what I thought was the better one last night. One was a Cash Haul. One was a What the Hill. I bought the What the Hill for 15 and watched the Cash Haul go through the ring for 82. 72? 82, I think. Granite Hill? No doubt he sold out in 2 seconds. I thought he was worth 60 grand and we gave 15 for him. So, Granite Hill is a big yes in my books. A great sale for us. I looked at all 20 that are coming home with us. I don't see where we overpaid for any of them. It was a great sale for the stable.ca. I'm very, very lucky, very happy. On my way home, 3 hours sleep and woke up with the biggest smile on my face you could ever find. Couldn't be sharper than I am right now. I'm at the border, 3 hours from home. I'm going home to see my family right now. That sale was a success. I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.